It's Tuesday. More specifically, it is the 12th of February, the most important date for Injustice 2. It's going to be the final DLC character, at least to our knowledge. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is in the game right now, I believe. Yep, there it is. TMNT actually in the game right there. I do find it quite strange that the default thing they equip you with is the Leonardo sword, right? But the mask up here, the default mask that they show you as an icon, is Raphael's mask. That's a little bit weird. Shouldn't that be Donatello's? Anywho, we're going to look at their shaders, and then I'll have an unboxing video out a little bit later on. Let's have a look at these shaders. I think I'm very interested to see what these shaders look like, because I don't know what you would do with the turtles. So let's have a look, taking a look at the God shader first of all. Not too big of a change, but I like it. The white eyes is going to be a big draw. A lot of people are going to use this one because of the white eyes. And then the alternative, I actually prefer the alternative because it's not as much yellow. Normally that's the other way around. So yeah, I'm actually a pretty big fan of the alternative, and I wouldn't be surprised to see me rock this thing pretty consistently. Let's take a look at the shell. The shell doesn't seem to change too much. Alright, let's have a look at Demon Shader. Not a fan of Demon Shader in general. I don't like the dark eyes, especially for the turtles because they're pretty cartoony. So seeing those dark eyes just seems a bit weird to me. So yeah, not a huge fan of that one. Let's move on to the alternative one now. That one I'm a bit more of a fan of because it changes their skin color in such a drastic way that I think there's more of a reason to run it, but I still don't like the dark eyes. I've never been a fan of the Demon Shader though, so I'm a little bit biased when it comes to this one. Alright, moving on to the next shader, which is called Turtle Power, conveniently named. I don't see too big of a difference between this one and the default one. Their skin color is slightly brighter in some spots. No, sorry, slightly darker. They're less colorized. I don't know how to explain it. I'm sure there's some Photoshop expert out there who can tell me what the exact meaning of that word is. But yeah, the colors don't pop as much in this version. Also, some of the wrist stuff, wherever they have that bandage type texture, seems to be purple instead of the default gray. So that might be something you're looking for. I'd imagine this gets drastically different depending on what gear you have on. So it's going to be weird looking at some of these shaders compared to now versus when we actually have gear to throw on these characters. So have a look at the next one, which is New York Ninja. I like this one. It makes a lot more color in there. You see the purple popping a lot more. So I like that. That's cool. New York Ninja Alternative. Oh, okay. So we're starting to get the That's interesting. Okay, so this is so you can synergize with the headband is what I'm assuming is happening here. So here we have Leonardo, so we would want this variation so that we have the same color as our headband. But if we're playing Donatello, we might want this one because that way it will synergize with the headband. Okay, that's interesting. Very cool. And I don't see it changing too much else. All right, Pizza Lover. I'm not quite sure what this is changing other than the bandages and stuff like that. Again, it doesn't look like these shaders are changing much, but I imagine that's going to change once you put on gear, right? Okay, let's have a look at Pizza Lover Alternative. I like this one. This one's kind of cool. I could see myself rocking this one. I think I'm going to go with New York Ninja Alternative once I get it, though. That one looks really cool. Teenage Mutant. Not much to say about this one. Normally, I really like the black and white shaders, but there's not much to say about this one because we don't have any gear to see what it really looks like. But I can say that I like the texture it gives the skin because it's much darker and kind of more grittier. So I could see myself using this one for sure. And then we got the alternative, which goes for a very different color across the entire turtles. I like that a lot. That's cool. Yeah, I could see myself rocking that one as well. And then obviously it changes up the color of the bandage type texture and the elbow pads. Okay, Half Shell Hero. That's kind of the same one that we have going up here with all these ones, but now with a Michelangelo color scheme. And I think the next one we're about to look at is going to be the same thing, but with Raphael. And what do you know? There you go. Very cool indeed. Leatherhead. What exactly is this changing? I'm seeing the changes, of course, to the knee pads and the bandage thing that he's got around his wrists. But other than that, I think it's just kind of the color of his skin. So I guess you can play around with that a little bit, and obviously with, like I said, with more gear, you'll see a bigger difference. Leatherhead Alternative changes a massive amount of the skin, so that might be something, that's a big drastic change. So that's probably one that you want to look at unlocking. Manhattan Guardian. What changes here? The skin seems to be a little bit brighter. It's hard to tell without the gear for these characters, right? Because the default has such little surface area to change as far as color goes. Alright, Manhattan Guardian Alternative. I much more like these colors. These colors are very bright, so I'm a fan of it. I'm very curious to see how they do Tournament and Electrum shaders, so let's go ahead and look at them right now, starting off with the Tournament shader. Okay, so it just seems to completely make everything golden, including the headband, which I think is a little bit surprising. And the things that it doesn't make golden are just pure black, which is the color scheme we've expected so far from the tournament shader. A little bit disappointing to not see the shell go entirely golden. That would have been a really nice touch as well. Alright, and now let's have a look at the Electrum shader. Of course, it's much of the same thing. I think I prefer the gold shader so far, the tournament shader for sure. Alright, well that's been it for my shader breakdown of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'll be back with an unboxing video very, very shortly. No, we do not want to name the loadout. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. My name is Bilbsy, and I'll see you then.